Hi, everybody. Welcome to the new normal. I'm your host, Lisa Davis, and you guys are in for a treat. We've got Susan Hudd and Crypto SL369 here for you doing price predictions on cryptos. Their guides have all kinds of great news for us, I think. And the market has been crazy and things in the world are crazy, but I think we've got some good news ahead of us. So you guys stick with us. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, SL. So wonderful to have you.
How are you this morning?
I'm good. I'm good. Thanks for rebooking this for me. We have had a little chaos at my household. And Susan, it's so wonderful to have you. You are one of my favorite people to have on. I just love your energy, and you get so excited. So much positivity with you. So wonderful to have you on.
This is going to be an extraordinary month. So this is a beginning of a mini cycle now, which is going to be as crazy. And I've been having a wonderful tune in before we came on here. And by the way, to everybody, it was my fault that we were late starting.
Well,
technology. So
I don't think it was your fault. Yeah, it was definitely, it took a little while to send the signal across the pond, as they say. So no problems there at all.
Susan, my group has some very important question to ask you. Can I ask you first?
Yes.
So you said that tomorrow is March 3rd. The market will drop. Yes. So is it going to drop for one day or for the next few days?
Majority one day. Tomorrow is going to be the impact day. But as I've said before, I actually feel like it's much more to do with the banking system that's going to have the rough ride. And that continues on until the 8th. I think we're going to be sort of quite shocked by what goes on. I truly believe that the cryptocurrency is going to go from strength to strength over this next couple of days. So even though it may seem a little bit quieter, but it's only quieter compared with the rest of the month, because the rest of the month we're going to be charging forward. I tell you, I can't stop smiling every time I think about it. It's going to be that exciting. Everybody's got something to smile about, especially if they're investing in the crypto world. And there's no better time than now to start looking to see if you can get some bargains. So it'd be great over the next couple of days.
Wow.
So in terms of percentage drop, do you see like how many percentage it will drop, either BTC or Shiba?
Shiba, very little, probably not even 0.5%, a very small margin, literally a very small margin. But then what it does over the next couple of days is going to gain that back and so much more anyway. So it's hardly worth talking about, but I'm sure everybody, because it is the most exciting coin as we're speaking at this moment in time, people are going to be very disappointed if it loses any more. But it's already should have increased even over the last day or so. And I thought we were going to write the first off and think that it's not really worth talking about the first and the second. But as I said, we've got other plans, other things here. They're going to be coming up. So I do believe the Shiba is going to be okay. I do believe that Bitcoin will be the biggest, hardest hit over the next couple of days. And so I would be watching the market and looking at them. And I know a lot of people will get pretty scared. And I do see that sort of dropping and scaring a lot of people. But remember what I said, hang on to your self-esteem, your confidence, actually start believing in the coins that you've actually got. And they're the ones that are going to really start rising. And there is going to be a nice rise that does come up after the 3rd. So even as soon as the 4th, you will see even Bitcoin start beginning to rise a little bit during that time. So don't panic. Please don't panic.
Oh, my group is not panicking. Some people in the community is waiting for the drop to buy.
Oh, right. Okay.
So there's no panicking.
Right. Yeah, we're looking forward to a drop.
Right. Okay, well then get ready for tomorrow then, because tomorrow there will be a little bit of a drop. You've also got a surprise day, but there's a lot of news. It's going to be quite a big day and not dropping enormously with the whole crypto world. But on the 16th, there could be a little bit of pushing and shoving there. So it's what I call, it's that little bit of fight for the top then, whereas beginning to look at changing positions, who's going to be in the most important top 10 and who's not going to be, who's going to be losing and dropping off during that time. So we've got an interesting time, an interesting day that day. And I think politically, it's going to be a huge day. So as long as Bitcoin, cryptocurrency in general, are not tied in with anything to do with the government, and so XRP might have a little bit of a difficult day that day. But again, I do feel that by the 18th and that it will be all back up and it will be okay. But there's a lot of heads that are going to be rocking and rolling during that time. So government changes all across the world, and actually specifically sort of tuned into different areas. So I would see a major change coming in the US government during that time. I think the news around about the 16th is going to be a wake-up call. I believe there's going to be a new leader in Canada, in Scotland, in Australia, France, and the UK. So you can tell what a powerful energy that is going to be during that time. And so watch out for the cryptocurrency just on that day. But the following day, then people were saying, but that was a positive change. That was really good. We needed that to happen. And because we need that to happen, I think that's where things are going to get very exciting, and that for most people. And then the cryptocurrency is going to be escaping. Then it's going to be running for the gates, or running for the heavens, I should say. It's going to be getting big, high, and exciting during that time.
So beware the Ides of March, I guess.
Yeah.
The 15th of March, and then it takes off.
Yeah. So
on
if
the
you're looking
16th.
for days to buy, that will be probably your second best day to be able to buy. So you could have a surprise on the 3rd. And like I said, it is about shocking news, or news and things that's being said around. And I think it's very important that people, as well as cryptocurrency, have cash. Because a lot of banks and all around the world will be closing down, and new banks and new forms of currency will be popping up during that time. And this is where I expect over the next couple of days, governments to be talking about their new cryptocurrency. But remember, that does come in with a big danger around it. Be careful of being tied into it. Be careful that it looks fantastic and exciting at the start, but then the rules and regulations are absolutely scaring the living daylights out of me. What they're trying to do and what they're going to be doing with their currency is far more dangerous. You won't be able to hide anything. So gone are the days as we're hiding things under the mattress. Not that I hide under the mattress, but
Right.
those old-fashioned days where you could put some aside and then nobody would know exactly what you've got. So just be careful of anything here that you buy that's associated with the government, particularly in this first week in March, because that's where the danger signs would come in.
So then between March 3rd and March 16th, which day will have a bigger drop?
You would have already had, out of the 2 dates, and I would say the 3rd. The 3rd is going to have the biggest drop, and the 16th and that is not going to be so big. Like I said, it's much more about the new coins that are coming in. So you could have some government coins come in, then all of a sudden you get big businesses that are screaming and shouting, we're buying this, trying to create that excitement, because it seems to be here a lot of waffle around that time. And that always brings in what I call the fake news, or the news here that's not so good. So just be a little bit cautious during that time and check your coins out really well, especially if you're a new beginner. So get advice from other people who've been involved in this for a long time. That's what my advice would be for you during that time. But that's where I think it's the shock factor.
Yeah. There's a lot going on in this space and in the world right now. But in the beginning, you said that Bitcoin will perform really well. The market will perform really well. Right before we get on, my spirit guide gave me a bunch of really sky high price prediction for Bitcoin. So I agree. Yeah, I agree with you.
But I would be very surprised if Bitcoin goes through the roof in this month. They dance their own dance, and that's not going to be until the month of May. So I feel that they'll be creeping along. And this is where we have to switch our energies and change things around. So the worst thing I want everybody to do, to be focusing and saying everything in their life depends on Bitcoin, because this cycle is changing itself. And each coin is going to have their own future and their own destiny. So focus on your own destiny, about how well yours is going to be. And that it's not going to be tied in anymore with what Bitcoin does. And that's what you've got to keep yourself concentrated on. It's got to have a life of its own. It's like tying everybody in at school and saying, just because it's not a very good school, then everybody in that school is not going to be very good. When actually you'll get individual cracking geniuses that will come out that will change the world. And this is what the coins are going to do now. So this is why I see Shiba standing on their own, doing really well and really standing out there. And like I said, you've got DigiByte, which is somebody from the past that's going to come back in and really sort of bring their energy back in and say, this is the way you play this. This is the way you're always going to be around. And like I said, there are so many strong energies that are going to come in that are going to do pretty well for, I say us, but everybody out there. We're going to have a happy month with our currency. And the investments that are coming into it, it's going to be outstanding for everybody. So good luck.
When you say happy month, are you talking about in March or not till May?
No, March. Apologies, March. I'm talking about the happy energy now starts from this month. This is where we see the progressive growth and that, and see why the cryptocurrency is going to be the talking point throughout this year. And you'd think it would be the ordinary banking system saying, well, how can we ever trust anybody? But it's about trusting governments and big organizations. And I think people are being done with that now. They go, that's enough of that. I'm not going to be controlled in that way. And I'm not going to take any coin on that. I feel that everything depends on them. And so this is why the market now is going to begin to shift. But do I think that Bitcoin, and I honestly didn't until I had this serious meditation. And I spent most of the evening working on it and going through all the coins that people have talked about and tuning in with each one of them, just seeing where they were going to go and what was going to happen with them. And actually then all of a sudden, Bitcoin started coming back up again. And I thought, well, where's the disharmony and why is it sort of coming back together here? It's because there's a lot of winners in the team that are working there. And it's like anything, when you have a load of perfectionists, do you think anybody's going to roll over and say, go on, now you're going to whip me, now you're going to get on with your life, and now you're going to leave me behind? They're going to come back fighting. And because the government is then easing back, because there's so much drama going on in the world to do with the government, that everybody's eyes going to be looking over here. And then Bitcoin is going to sneakily then creep in and do a little bit. So I don't see them being brilliant during the month of March, but better than I first expected them to do. But then, like I said, May, they stand in a month on their own where they seem to be doing really well. And for those people that have Bitcoin during that time, will do enormously well. So you will have a couple of opportunities during this month to buy Bitcoin, because people will get very nervous about hanging on to it because of the rumors and the stuff that's going on. So there is going to be opportunities for those of you that would like to still buy into it. And there is still going to be profit in that. And I think if you haven't made decent profit with it in May, I think you'll end up giving up again on it during the summertime. So we've got an unusual end of July, beginning of August time with the cryptocurrency. So people will have to make sure they've taken off profit, put it all to one side, and have that all ready to invest within those couple of weeks. In those couple of weeks, again, we got dark bargains and deals, but be careful the ones you hang on to during that time that you invest in. And like I said, if it's government, got the government stamp of approval on it, then I would run in the opposite direction, unless it is just literally about quick profit here today and then gone the next day. And those are the concerns that I have. Maybe because I'm just a steady plodder in life and I just like things to keep coming in and be okay, and freaking out of having a massive drop and going, oh, goodness me, my heart couldn't take it. Maybe you guys can. So in that case, you're going to have a whale of a time, but I'll be sat back here having a heart attack for you just to have sympathy with you. So a good time for spending during that time or buying coins. There will be some great bargains and deals, but not as good as the 2 dates that will be coming in during this month of March. So we've got a couple of nice periods to come in the future. So sorry about this blabbering on, but I just get a bit excited. So
that's very exciting news. So is the war between Russia and Ukraine done and all said? And how, like, will decisions impact the market at all?
Right. No, it's not going to. It's going to be very short, sharp, straight to the point. And I'm sorry it's the biggest fake news since we started on all the other information, the stuff that we've been tracked down. It's another way of restricting us and bringing in that fear. I'm trying to do everything I can here to turn you away from fear and show you there's great stuff and great news and great things coming out. And you're not going to believe what I'm going to say, but I'm telling you now that the leader of Russia is going to be your savior. We're all out there talking about Trump and putting him up there on that pedestal and saying, great, can't wait till he comes back. But actually, he's going to be coming back in and he's going to be there. And this is going to be so justified because the information that you are going to find out about what's actually been happening there. And I absolutely know it from the best source ever, somebody that I trust with my life. And she was speaking to best friends. She spoke to 4 people that are actually there. And they said, yes, they could hear bangs and that in the background. But they said there is no evidence whatsoever. And people know that they've got to stay in and out the way. So you're seeing all these pictures and things, but they were all from other wars, other bombings and things that happened years ago. You've got to get through this period of thinking that everything you see on the telly is real and it's what's happening today, because I absolutely promise you it's not. This is all in good hands. It is to get rid of more bioweapons. And I know a lot of you are thinking, right, there's going to be another virus or another one that's coming. If they don't get rid of the ones that are going now, then absolutely, yes, there will be. And you will be confided in this Christmas and you'll go through the same process. But if we just sit back and stop interfering and let it go its journey, then there's not going to be hardly anybody that's going to be damaged unless they are involved in looking after the wrong side. There's a good side and a bad side. And I know a lot of people may not believe that, but it absolutely is. And you will have to think to yourself, what's your government's been doing to you for the last couple of years? What's the TV been doing to you? Just constantly lying. How can you believe anything whatsoever? And you have to remember, they've spent 10, 15 years telling everybody everything is fake news if you get it on the internet. So everybody is thinking, oh, well, I can't believe anything that I hear on the internet because it's fake news, when actually you've been brainwashed and hypnotized and that for such a long time. You've got no idea what is right and what is wrong. And so you have to start now waking up and having that wisdom and saying, does that sound like it's common sense to me, or doesn't it? So start thinking now in a common sense way. But I'm telling you, it is not that violence. It's not all that aggression. And ordinary human beings are not dropping dead on the streets. It is a plan, and a plan set up, just like we've been going through recently. So sorry.
No. I am right with you. I'm seeing things myself that my gut is telling me about the 15th. I've been seeing the 15th, 15. So I'm completely with you. I'm completely with you on what you're seeing. I'm also reading Uncle Cliff's newsletter on Substack, and he's explaining what's really going on. So I know you're right. I know what's going on as well in my gut, and know it for sure. One of the things Uncle Cliff talks about is that silver specifically will run before cryptos really takes off. Do you see that as well? I mean, we saw it go up. It went up $1.20 yesterday.
Okay.
Do you see it taking off within the next few days?
I see it going off a bit. I don't see it being as big as crypto this month at all. I do see that it's coming in, that it is breaking through. It can't be much more. And to be quite truthful, if the information that I was given earlier on, and that happens to Biden and happens to the banking system, then over the next few days, we're actually going to begin to see more daylight coming with it. But remember, the month of April is a spiritual month. It's our gifts from heaven. So we're going to have everything lined up this month. So this is where there's Jazara and Nazara. And I believe that the cryptocurrency is all part of that as well. So that's going to be
today's Ash Wednesday.
Right.
And then they were doing some comms today with Dr. Seuss's birthday. Okay. There's something to do with that. We're going to talk about it on Woo Wednesday today on my show later. To get back to cryptos, we wanted to ask you about PAC, PAC Global. They have their Yon DNA is out, and they're doing their way that they do their NFTs is different. You actually own the NFT, where most NFTs, your NFT is on the blockchain and you have the keys to your NFT, but you don't really have the NFT. So do you have some predictions for us on PAC?
I like that, because it's something here that's giving you something here to hang on to, something here that you can say, I own this, I have this. And because even with the blockchain and that, how it's changing things around so that people get that feeling, because that's what a lot of people have actually been asking. Do I think this is going to be a good period? And that, yes, I do for it. Do I think that April's going to be possibly pushing itself up the scales a little bit quicker? So it might go for the first couple of weeks quite fast in April time. And like I said, because there's a lot of things here going on with the news, people will have that nervous energy. But by then we'd have sorted out where the banks are going, and people are withdrawing their money and do want to invest in. So we've got a turnaround point that comes in that really picks things up, that's really going to get quite exciting. And so I do see that. Double, possibly even treble. I was just given treble. As I started saying double, I was going treble in value in that. And I was saying, and I just got the number 8. So I think by the 8th of this month, March, I believe it could have even trebled in value. And like I said, I was starting to say double, and then they overrode me, which they sometimes do. And that's why I start saying one thing and then something else comes out my mouth. And I go, well, okay. So, and I think, and like I said, I just saw the big number 8, and that could be infinity. That could be the karma sign that's all bringing in, or it can be just exactly where I'm looking at and saying around about the 8th, or even around the 8th time. So and remember, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just an intuitive person who just says, come on, give me the information, answer the question. So I just cheat really and ask for the answer to the question. So I hope that helps you.
That's very helpful. The next coin that we wanted to know what your guides had to say about was Zap protocol.
Okay, yeah, Zap. A little bit tighter. I'm feeling a little bit tighter in around my stomach region now, a little bit. And I'm going, well, okay, why are you making me feel this way? Why are you doing it? There just seems to be not such a smooth journey, and that for this right away now. So I think I'm still going to be coughing, spluttering and going for a fraction longer now. Again, there's something very significant, an upturn or something here that's more positive, but I would say on the 5th. So we've got the next few days, and that I don't see this making great an impact immediately. But I do see the growth and that going in 2 fits and starts. So I think this could be one that could be affected even around the 16th. So I've got 2 little impacts and that come in. So I think we've got a small bit of growth, and then an easing back where we're just looking at it and letting it merrily go on its way. And then around the 16th and that, whatever the news is, whatever it is, seems to affect this. And it's got another little bit of a shaky day. So I think a little bit of a shaky. So whatever it's doing now, I would see the same shakiness coming in round about the 16th. So it could increase itself and then drop back to where it is right now.
Okay. The next one was Wink.
Oh, right. I like Wink. And,
Okay.
and the reason that I like it, because the whole time I was just talking about that one, my eye kept blinking, and I thought, well,
Oh,
if
how
anybody
funny.
could see, they're going to think I'm winking at them. So,
How
okay.
funny.
So this is lovely, and it is Spirit's way of doing things. If they're trying to attract my attention to something, they'll start rubbing my eyes or tapping my face, and they'll make me realize. And like I said, my eyes started twitching. And I just thought, oh, goodness me, I hope nobody can see it. That thing, I'm getting really weird. So I do see this as something that's going to be a nice coin. And we've got several months on this one, which is going to be pretty good. I think people in general are going to like this coin and this energy. And this month will not see them being one of the best or the highest turnarounds, but it will see a turnaround, and there is profit in that to gain. And possibly even on what I want to call the coldest day of this month, not weather-wise, but to do with the rises and that tomorrow. So this could have been where it bottomed out as low as it's going to be, and then the increase already begins and starts going. So I would see even the 4th as being a good day for this currency. So
Okay.
and good month all round.
Okay. And I don't know if this will throw you off. I forgot a question on Zap. Will that mess you up to go backwards?
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay. Zap, they were asking, do you see Zap protocol merging with another project?
Yes. Oh, well, that will make sense, because I thought it was Wink first of all, and I thought that's why I had that little bit of a hiccup, and I could see
Okay.
two of them merging. So probably Spirit already knew that you should have asked that, or that was coming up. Not that I'm telling you.
Maybe I should have Spirit ask the questions.
Oh no, because you'd never get back to the currency. You'll be wandering everywhere if you leave it to them. They tend to take control the best of the time. I put it down. That's why I talk so much. I said that I just put it down to blame them. So anyway, so sorry here. Back to your question and that. Yes, I do see them, but I actually see that that's a cracking choice, a really great choice for them, and a good decision that they will not end up regretting that decision. So the changes and that come in for that is what's going to make the coin. So well done then.
Okay, well, that's good to know. Yeah. Let's see. The next one we were looking at was VGX, or Voyager token.
Okay, yeah.
And let me make sure I've got the right. Yeah. Here's a little chart for it. The Voyager token price chart for 90 days.
Okay. And that's what it's done, is it? Not that I can see it very well, but anyway.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it at all. I just pick up and go with the energy anyway. And so whether it's up or down or whatever, it won't make any difference to me. It will be just the energy that this is coming in. Can you say the name once more?
Voyager.
Voyager, right. Okay, that's fine. I just had to make sure that I was connecting in with the right one here. Right. So like I was saying just now about the coughing and the starting, the spluttering and that, I feel this is a bit of a spluttering period. So it's more sideways momentum than it is going up or taking things up. Will it turn around and take itself up? Yes, it will. Now, there seems to be some different talks. So there's either some creative expansion coming in with this one, or there is here some new talk. And that's why I said repeat the energy again. I had to make sure that I wasn't tuning back in to say that we've got some more movement and that coming in. So has this one got more than one coin, the company? Has it got more than one coin?
I believe so, yeah. Right. I think actually when I was pulling up, let me show you. When I went and said VGX, no, maybe it doesn't.
So this
SL, do you know?
Yeah, so this one is an app where you can buy cryptocurrency very easily on the app. And they also issue interest. if you leave your
Perfect.
coin on the app.
Okay, right. Absolutely perfect. As long as there's another side to it, there's something else that they do that's a little bit different than some of the other coins that you've been talking about, then yes, I'm going to go along with it. It seems to have that very much more that simple energy that's coming in with it. And I do believe that that's why that's going to become more popular, because of the simpleness. So maybe they've just decided it's better to have, as we say, the word bums on seats. So we have plenty of people interested in it than it is to make it go down a particular pathway. So I think their creative energy and that is going to be good. Their simplicity is what's going to maintain them and help them to have a very good year. So I would stick with them and keep with them pretty much throughout the whole of the year. So I do believe for where they're heading, they seem to be knowing what's going on with what people want and how simple people want things. So yes, I would see that as a company that will be good. But I do see that they will have some competition. And so they'll have to be very wary of what I call nodding off or settling with going sideways for very long. So they're going to have to make sure they maintain quick starts. They have got a burst during the middle of this month in March, where they will start doing pretty well. So I think even from them, from the 10th onwards, I think they're going to go through a nice peaking period. And I think this will continue on till around the 20th, and that for them, maybe the 21st. So if you're a dangerous person and like to live on the edge, you can just hang on and trust your profit and then wait an extra day. But I would say for me personally, and the energy that I'm working with, better be safe than sorry, because I would hate you to earn a bit of profit from it and then just sit on it for that one extra day and then end up losing part of that profit. I don't think it's going to go thundering straight down, but it is going to have a tiny little bit of a drop during that time. So either the 20th or 21st, and that expected to have a minute little drop, not much, but a minute.
Good to know. The next coin was Doge.
Okay. Like that very much. It actually made me, for the first one tonight, really sort of swagger and really sort of yeah. So I do like this one. Remember, with a lot of cryptocurrencies, until you get past the fourth, I think that everybody's got that little slight element that it may drop very slightly. So I think they could possibly very slightly drop tomorrow. So there might be a little bit there. Remember, I always say give spirit an extra day to be on the safe side. So just keep an eye on this one for tomorrow, the 3rd and the 4th. And the 4th could surprise you. It could leap back up, or it could take an extra jump. And so there could be an extra % or so that it could be that's a bit better for you. So that would be better by the 4th.
Better by the 4th for Doge.
Yeah.
Okay. But a buying opportunity on the 3rd.
On the 3rd, yes. Particularly what I call late afternoon is one of those that will be just plodding along pretty much the same through the morning. And then in the afternoon, all of a sudden, those that bought in the morning thought, oh, I should have hung on a couple of hours because I've got a little bit of a better deal. And it just seems to be, as it's coming to the latter end of the day, it just seems to be doing a little bit better, particularly for buying. So buy, then wait until the last minute, if there is such a thing as the last minute with crypto.
Okay. Yeah, because it's up all day.
All day. Yeah.
Let's see.
So if you then work it out, and if you say sort of looking at 5-6 o'clock UK time, that will be what my guides will be saying is more towards the end of the day, rather than you guys waiting to the end of the day and go, God, I would have had a deal if I bought it first thing this morning. So UK time. So when I'm doing time, I was doing it UK time.
Okay, good to
I can't
know.
work out how many hours you are behind or in front or whatever. So it's always UK time.
Okay.
And UK day as well, because in some countries, it's Wednesday here. In other countries, it might be already Thursday or whatever. So
right, it's
I'm
very
always
confusing.
Yeah, so I'm always talking UK time when I say a day. It's UK the 3rd. So.
Okay. The next one was Empire. Let's see. The SL, is it the one that's just Empire? This Empire token?
Yes, that's one.
Okay.
Okay.
Make sure I get the right one.
Right. Good energy, just about to go, just about to lift off is what I call the rocket energy now. So I think you've got a good 2 weeks and that where it's going to change direction. So I can't see it at the moment because it's really faint and these glasses are not very good
It's
at all.
just in the last 90 days, it went from looks like 8 cents to nothing.
Right. Okay. Well, then it can't get any
To
lower.
2 cents. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So I'd be looking at between 6 and 7. When I was about to say 6 cents, they said 7 and gave me a 7 over the top. But then when I was backing back from it, the energy from it, I was then seeing the 8 again. So
Okay.
I think
So
I
back
think
to
it's going to
all-time
go up.
highs.
Yeah, so it's going to be there. And a lot of the coins we're talking about will break their highest record during this month. And I believe that that is one that will recover and then actually come back and actually make some profit. So a good time if it's got any zeros there, it will be a good time to look at this. And like with anything, it's good over the next couple of months to just buy some and then sit on it during the next couple of months and just hang it in together because it's one of those that will particularly do quite well in April as well. And so we've got several growth opportunities. I don't think it'll keep breaking records over March and April time, but this could be another one at the latter end of August going into September time that it could then break a record that it's going to do this month. So it could even go higher during that time. So.
Okay. Let's see here. Make sure sometimes I'm missing some questions. So let me double check my screens. The Kin coin, KIN.
Okay.
Was the next one. Where am I? Sorry, I'm on the wrong screen again.
Is this one here reasonably new? Because I feel like I'm taking.
I'm not familiar with this one at all. So this one, SL, you'll have to jump in on this one.
Okay.
So this one is not new. I've been around for a few years, maybe 2018 and 2019.
Okay, well, it doesn't feel like it. The energy just feels like it's just been reborn. So for me, I think they're going to have to do a lot more with this coin before it really sort of branches out and is something that's going to be really exciting. So this year, I think it's going to plod along. It's very important that they readjust things in the company. Maybe advertise more or put more effort and energy into it, talk about it. Talking in the month of communication is now where it's something we want to do well. We have to feed the energy into it. Otherwise, it's just going to keep having these sort of ups and down moments and that, which is, as I keep saying, quite scary with it going up and down and that quite so much. Do I see it getting better? I actually see it better and that towards the autumn time in the UK. So I'd be looking at September, October, and possibly even November time. And November time, if you haven't done really well during the year, then that first week to 10 days in November time is really going to hit the crypto world then. And like I said, because it comes in here with a lot of political energies this year, and some of those countries' coins that they bring out could even crash and fold during that time. And it will be a big time. And I will find as well that Bitcoin will have a very hairy beginning of November time. And so for you guys that truly believe that it's going to tie into everything else, then you're all going to be building the energy up. And then you'll all find that you end up having a difficult time during November. But it's only that until round about the 10th, 11th at the latest. I seem to be doing from the 8th to the 11th that I I'm sort of swallowing, trying to hold my breath here, thinking, oh, do you know, I don't think the crypto world is for me. It's too much keeping me on the edge. And I think then the profits and that they've made during that time, if they haven't made some radical changes in that in the company and haven't sort of improved things during the year, they might get slightly hit during that time. So that's something they'll have to watch out for. So if you have and you already got it, look around that October time to take profits off so that nothing really hits you. And particularly if you're buying in pretty soon, when it's not got too much value with it, then you definitely aren't going to lose later on.
Sorry, I was muted. Good advice. Always important to take that profit and look out for yourself.
Yes.
Let's see. We were at Ken. It looks like Algorand is next.
Algorand. Okay.
Or
Right.
Algorand, depending on how you pronounce that.
Right. And it's funny enough, I like the energy with Algorand rather than Algorand. The way that you said it,
Okay.
first of all, it's definitely got a better energy with it, because I was going to say, no, I'm not going to be wasting me energy. Definitely not at this moment in time, because I still think that they've got a low point coming in. And I think that'd be more than likely the beginning of the April time. And that's quite unusual, because I'm feeling the momentum with most coins and that. And even when we go into April, I think Spirit is saying it's really important that everybody earns some profit during that time, because Spirit are trying to build up the trust and the faith in the crypto world, just so that people know that they've got somewhere safe to go. And so I think that because Spirit are running the show during April time, I think they've got a good chance of improving things. But that first sort of week and that, they could take a little bit of a knock, or there could be a slower period and that for them, the beginning of April time. And most other coins were already running during that time. So just be a little bit wary then.
Okay. Songbird.
Oh, right. Okay. Right. Oops. I think that one's definitely going to need some help. So with Songbird, I like the vibration and the energy and that of them, which is quite exciting. I do like that. I think it is a company, it is a coin that is going to do particularly well. And I don't think just now, I just think now we've got great improvement, but I think this is going to be a company that expands. And even going into next year, they seem to be what I call quite a champion, doing quite well. I don't know why I keep seeing flipping horse races at the moment, so I'm just trying to put it out of my head.
Well, I think I pulled up a screen of another project that I'm looking into, so I don't know if that might have confused you. I apologize.
Right, that's all right.
It's about something totally different. So I hope that didn't confuse you. Let me pull up Songbird so that we're making sure we're getting the right energy and talking about the right thing, that we're being really clear with Spirit of what we're wanting to, what information we're wanting to see and get. Right. This is Songbird. And this is a chart for Songbird for the last 90 days.
Right. Okay. So they've got their little bit, like I said, a tiredness still now, which I'm going to stick with, and then a growth now through the rest of the month. So if we carry on, I think we're going to still have to stick to round about the 10th, sort of round about that time of them still not doing very well. So if you're interested in buying it, it will be a good time for you to buy it during that time, but still expect it to drop back a bit that first few days in April time. I think it's going to be after the 5th of April time, it will start then developing and growing again during that time. And the one that you're looking at seems to have a really good energy. This is like lifting up your spirits and lifting up your energies now. So I think this will bring in a great, exciting period in that for you personally. So if anybody else was smart enough and quick enough to know that and see that you could be just doing a great deal for them, because they'll end up buying into it. So, which is great.
Well, good. I haven't even Yeah, I'm just heard about it and had a friend talk to me about it, and
Okay. Just because
considering,
your
yeah,
homework.
considering talking to the partner, to the team about maybe
Right.
doing something. But yeah, I want to do my homework on it and make sure
Right,
it's
yeah. So do
a
your
solid
homework on it,
project.
but I feel that it's got a very positive energy and that with you. So I think the energy that comes with it, it'll be something good for you to share with everybody, because
Well,
you would have
thank
done
you.
your homework and that on it, and you will have something decent to bring to the table, which is good.
Well,
And like I
thank you.
said, seen it then, and like I said, it came into me with a horse race, and a horse race is something here. There's galloping going forward, so it
That's
could
funny.
go fast and that pretty quickly and that. So good luck to everybody.
Well, thank you.
You're
That's so funny. SL, is this the right coin for crypto.com? This crypto 20?
Oh no, so it's
No,
CR.
crypto
Oh, they changed the name, so I think it's CRONOS.
CRONOS.
There's no Y, so CRO.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, the first one.
Thank you. Okay, so this is Chronos, which is also crypto.com.
Yeah, they changed the name recently.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know that.
Right, but then I don't think they've changed enough, or they haven't changed enough right now to make them really stunning, really exciting, and that. I think it'd be very difficult for them not to do well during March, and I think very difficult for them not to do much better even in April time. I think they are going to be one of those that seriously struggle during May. And so there's something here that doesn't seem to be still working quite well with them. So then you've got to ask why in this year, or why have they already changed their name? For what reason did they change their name? And so do a little bit more homework about this one before you just automatically just buy into it, because there's too much shifting and energy there. The energy isn't stable enough for me at this moment to make me really excited. I think, yes, okay, I could earn something from it, but it is one of those that are going to keep me pretty much here on the edge for the next few months and that. So it's not going to be sort of what I call a thrilly ride. It is going to be a ride which gives me slight anxiety. It's like going on a child's ride at this moment. So it's not going to be one that I'm going to be screaming from the start to the finish, but it is going to be what the thumb's saying, that I'm going, should children be going on this ride? It's going to be fast. So you can tell what a weak link I am, can't you? And that's what it's going to be like. I'm sorry I haven't got sensible things to say, but I
No, you're good.
funny spirits. So I just say, don't let your hair down. Say what you've got to say, as long as it's right.
Terra Luna is it just Luna or is it Terra?
The first one.
There it is. Terra Luna. There it is.
Like it.
Terra Luna.
Like it. Definitely like it. Like the energy through the whole of this month. And I know they always say once there's an up, there's a sudden knockdown. I don't think they're going to be knocked down over the next couple of days. But there is going to be news and things, like I said, when political leaders and that start changing around. I don't know why it should affect the crypto world, but this one seems to be slightly affected by a political decision. So there's a decision there that seems to come in that's a little bit political, and they seem to be slightly affected by that. But as I believe that's coming in around the 16th, sort of round about that time, where there will be big political changes. And I even think with the war energy and that, or the so-called war energy, will be in the background more. They'll be trying to then pump up about global warming, and they'll be trying to pump up about another virus. But the whole purpose is to get rid of the viruses that are sort of lined up for everybody to be kept in. This is a very much more self-sufficient. It's those that are positive, those that are strong-minded, those that think big are going to do particularly well this month. So you've got to be very upbeat. and focus on your dreams. You could earn enough this month to build your own home. You could start your new foundation, your corporation. You could do that this month. There's going to be laying out the pattern for the year ahead for you. So expect to do well. There's going to be hundreds of spiritual jobs, and Spirit are going to be looking after everybody during April time. So there's going to be bags and bags of good news coming in around April time. The only thing that does really concern me, and it's not through doing the storms, because this is a very weathery, stormy time. Everybody's going to have freak weather. This has been going on for a little while, but it's going to actually get worse. So we've got right up until the end of May where there's going to be a lot of weird weather through earthquakes, tremors, storms, floods, all sorts of things. There is one thing that I have been worried about, and I did say a couple of years ago in my predictions and that, everybody's saying, watch the water, watch the water.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it's so much the water. And I've always keep saying, I'm sure it's to do with what we're drinking. It's what's happening to our actual water. That's what we've got to watch. That's what we've got to start putting our foot down on and looking at things here.
When we find out what fluoride does to us, I think people will be very angry. Yeah,
absolutely. And listen to the real scientists, not people with just the letter DR in front of them. Because to be honest, whether it's in the medical profession or in the scientific world, if they've got a DR in front of them, they have to be careful. They're not going to be arrested during the month of March. March is about new laws and people that have been deceiving people. So this is about common law. This is about changing the law. So the situation we've been through will never happen again, because we will get new heads coming in and starting it off. And that's why I believe that the foundation of the crypto world is going to, bear really well during this journey. Because I think the people that come into it will have a great interest in the cryptocurrency. So that's why I see that getting stronger and stronger. And I keep looking and I try to keep my energy down and say, no more than 5 years. And they're going, why? It's going to be around. It's going to be a forever currency. But the next 10 years and that are going to be particularly profitable. So it's down to you guys that are in charge of it, that have been in it for a long time, to sort of weed out the weeds. So if there's any company in that, you should be the ones that are screaming about it first, to make sure the new people don't fall into that trap. So it's down to educating people now. So
that's important. Yeah. I want to get through this, a couple more of these. I have a couple questions about a couple other projects that we don't have listed on here, but Bow Finance. This is one that the community had a question on, or was wondering what you saw coming for.
Right. Is this spiritually motivated as well? Because I can feel both my shoulders being pulled up. So when my shoulders,
I'm not familiar with it.
Right. When my energy and that has been pulling up, that shows me that they're going into a rise period. So they're about to hit now a hot spot where they're going into a rise period. And it wasn't just pulling up and then letting me go. And that means it's just going to go up for a few days and then drop down. So I believe this one has got a little bit of interest, now over the next few days. And I do believe there will be some growth over the next few days, and that, which is quite exciting. I think they're going to have to be particularly a little bit wary around the 28th or 29th of this month. And so they would have to be. So remember what we always say, profit, then take it off, and don't leave it to the last second. And if you feel anything or see anything during that time, and don't take a risk, it's not going to be the best time, because you're already picking up the spiritual energy, and spirit are trying to do certainties, and they're not trying to do risk. They're trying to make you all feel better. And so that we can bring back the love energy and the exciting energy back into all our lives again. And so that's important.
When you were talking about the people that have been in crypto for a long time and being responsible and checking into projects, what are your thoughts on Very?
Very. Exactly
and the Very DAO.
Right. Okay.
Veritasium.
Right. Yeah. but yes, like it. I like the energy coming in with it. Yes. And looking at that graph, I ought to be saying no, but actually I'm saying yes, yes, yes. So I do like that. And they don't seem to be going sideways now. So we're about to go into a peaking time and that for them. I think the next few days and that are going to be pretty much the same. So I think they will be one of those that feel like they're sound asleep during the 3rd, possibly the 4th. There is the 6th and the 7th that the coin seems to do well with. So it's starting to wake up and starting to go in an upward position. I think they've got one of those, what I call short spurts. So I see them going up for possibly 2 or 3 days. So not going up for 2 or 3 weeks at a time, 2 or 3 days. There will be a movement up with them. And then I'm being patted on the head. So I feel like 2 or 3 days patting me on the head. So then they're going to take me down slightly to half where they go over the next 3 days. So the bit of profit that you'd have made, you'll be halving it over about the 3 days, taking me back down again. And then I'm all ready to rise up. I'm sort of trying to sit here and pull myself up. So I think they'll stay down for possibly 1 or 2 days. And then they'll start going back up again. And you'll be going, here we go again. And that's exactly how they're going to be pretty much throughout most of this month. It's going to be up for a couple of days, down and up.
Just kind of back and forth. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's
Hard
see.
work.
I think lots of hard work
Yes.
with this. The team is working very hard. That's for sure.
Yes.
Lots going on. XYO, the XYO network is the next one that's on our list.
Okay, good. Going up, up, up. That all the way up through this month. So I'm not looking for a down or a low down. So going up and up. Remember what we said, this is a month that will bring in records and surprising records. So I think they're about to go into quite a busy period. And my energy is feeling that I like the way that it's actually going up. And then when I got up there, I thumped my arm down right at the end. So I just need to just check to make sure right the way through the whole of the month that they're going to stay up there. This could be one of those that literally on the last day of the month. So 30th, so is it, I don't know if there's 30 or 31 days. So I'm just going for that, but they said the 30th, so I'm going to stick to the 30th. I think the 30th could be a little bit of a risky day for them. So it could bring things back a little bit. And then boom, straight as soon as it comes to April time, all of a sudden I'm back and I'm alive again. And so I'm shooting back up again. So I think whatever the little bit they lose, it will be back up during the early part of April time. And then we start creeping our way all the way up through. I don't see any big, massive drops or anything like that during April time and that for them. And so I believe the growth there will please those people that have the coins. So
wonderful. So we've got some questions from people, from the patrons that are on YouTube in the live chat. One of them, well, some of them are asking about Ushiba, which is different from Shiba that we had talked about earlier. So I'll pull that.
Yeah. Well, Shiba has got very similar energy to Shiba.
The American Shiba, yeah.
Right, yes. So I feel the American Shiba, that is going to be on an upward trend, which is exciting. I feel like the Shiba is coming up behind it. So I don't think it's going to drop too far behind it. But I think people can or will get confused with it when they're looking, they're looking down, they might be trying to buy Shiba and then end up buying that one instead. It's not going to make any big losses or losses in that for them. I do think it is something. Is this much more to do with gaming? Do you know?
Not that I'm aware of.
Right.
They're trying to develop a couple things. They have been trying, Okay,
I think that's when they'll become a force to reckon with. is when there's something here that's much more, because I was going to say I smelt gaming. So something here, I said I'm a bit weird, and I just smelt that energy. So I do believe that is something that is going to be. And if you said that they've got some plans here in the future to change some things, I think that's when they will become a much more of force to be reckoned with. So in the future, yes, possibly even 2023 could be an even hotter year for them, for that side of it, than actually, sort of competing more with Shiba during that time. I think Shiba is a very safe coin to have and will be in the future, but because the next 5 years and that are going to be pretty extraordinary in that for Shiba. So a good investment, solid investment. So, which is great.
Definitely. H bar.
Oh, excellent.
Hedera.
Right. H bar, absolutely, yes. I do see that as going to be one of the stars for this month. So I do believe it's going to do particularly well during this month. I do believe it's going to have, and in general, a good year. And it's funny enough, I keep associating this with the T-bar, and which is associated with gold. So in my opinion, like I said, I associate things which are a bit weird. And I kept getting it every time I was trying to say H bar, I kept saying T bar, and T bar is a gold chain. And I kept associating. So I think there's going to be some association with gold and that with this coin.
Interesting.
So I think with gold sort of lifting up, and I think that's exactly what's going to happen. So they'll follow the pattern of gold in particular, more than any other coin. And that's just what's given to me. So I pretty feel that that's going to be quite a good one in the future. So if gold has a couple of droppy days, then you'll find that this one does. And if gold is starting to pick itself up, which I do believe if it's not picking itself up at this moment in time, it certainly will be very shortly over the next few days. It's going to start building itself up. But this is a clearing point. So silver is going to be the biggest metal of the whole year, without doubt. It's going to be absolutely massive by the end of the year, really good. And gold is still going to be comfortable. It's going to be what I call the comfy armchair you never get rid of. And it's going to be that sort of supportiveness that keeps going on. But I think for the fastest peaks, and that silver is what's going to be. And we have got an exciting month for it, but certainly the way that it is at this moment in time, I think April time is going to possibly even equal it. And Spirit was giving to me before that March was going to be the shining month, and that for silver. But I think April and that is going to be much more about healing energies and things like that. And silver will be used for all of that. I think it's still going to go through the roof during that time. But silver is going to have a cracking year, absolutely cracking year. And
good to know.
It's a great thing to hang on to.
Good to know. What is it that you like about the H bar? I know it makes you feel or connects you with gold. Is there something else that you like about H bar?
I just like the energy and the frequency.
Just that energy.
That it actually brings with me. It makes me feel good and warm inside. So it's what I call quite a positive energy. So, and even though I can see by that, or the bit that I can see is ups and downs and that, they're not scaring me at all. So with the company, so it is something that I would like to keep my eye on, and I would always check everything and keep my eye on it all the time. But it is something that particularly is going to have a good month, and it might surprise people this month when they say, well, where did that come from and how did it get there? And all of a sudden it's gone from not really having too much interest to all of a sudden it being a very much more vocal point for people to be talking about. And they'll say, I've made my biggest amount of money this month, and I've actually made it on H bar. And I would have never expected that. I only got it on a whim, and it will be that type of thing. So people won't have really done much thinking about it, but bought into it and end up surprising themselves. So Sorry
Well,
if I
that's always no. It's good to have a surprise. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
So then there's one. I don't know that we have coins on this. It says Strong Node and Thor Node. Does that have a good month or a year that's specific to them?
Right. Okay.
Strong Node and Thor Node.
I would say it was going to be this year. This year, if the energy and that seems to be pulling itself and seem to be saying, if it's going to have a good year, then this will be the year that it will have a good year. I don't think it's going to have a brilliant year, but I think it's going to have a good year. It just seems to come in here with a dividing down through the line. So it could be what I always call the England football match. So it could be a team that come out, your expectations is really high, and then it really doesn't do anything amazingly. And you're watching it until the last very second. And just when you think you've completely had enough of it, it all of a sudden does extremely well. And then you're glad that you waited until the last second and that with it. So just think of it like England. We have great intentions, but eventually we'll get there. But just don't expect us to be stars from the beginning.
Good people, bad weather. How about that?
Yeah, exactly. Even better.
Okay.
Yeah, just to lift the pressure off the football players.
Yeah. Okay. So that's good to know. Let me go back up here. We've got BCH. So that's Bitcoin Cash.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Right. Better. When I'm saying better, I'm saying better, actually, moments better than Bitcoin. So I think with them, like I said, they're pulling me out of my heart. So I think a lot of people and that will do great with this. I think we've got still a little bit of not too mad of next couple of days. But I think after the next couple of days, I think they've basically got a week to 10 days and that where it should do reasonably well. I think possibly around the 17th and that it might start slowing down a little bit until particularly towards the latter end of the month. But is it still going to bring people in profit? Yes, because I don't think there's going to be this mad rush to go out and buy loads of it. But I think people have got it here as a bit of a backup. And so I think it's one of those, like I was saying about DigiBuy, one of those coins that are going to be sort of safe and sound and solid to have in your collection.
Okay. Right now, the Bitcoin Cash price is $3.20.15. How high do you see Bitcoin Cash going this month?
Okay, right. This month. So we take 75, so 75% higher. So still quite a reasonable jump in that. So it's about 75% higher than what it is now. So what did you say it was now?
320. Was it 320? Yeah, 3.20.15. So I can get a calculator. I'm terrible at math.
Yeah, me too. I'm scribbling it down, and I thought as soon as I get my conscious brain back into it, it'd be all over the place.
Yeah. No. That's okay. Everybody can do their own math. Do your own research. Do your own math.
So yeah.
But that's good to know for this month.
Yeah.
And then do you see like overall people needing to take profits at the end of this month for a drop beginning of April? Or
I would always do that when I'm transferring energy going into any month. I would always make sure I've had a reasonable amount. Remember, this is a month that we're trying to build your foundations on. We're trying to get you your homes, your land, your extensions, your improvements in your life are going to be this month. So there's no point going into a spiritual month and then spirit turn and say, well, you were a bit greedy. You've got far too many coins in spread too many places. And then you narrow it down. So it's about your spirituality and your intuition. So use your intuition, and coming in the last few days of this month before you go into April time, you'll get gut feelings. Your feelings will say to you, do you know something? I need to just put this to one side. So what will we become is much more sensible before we go into the spiritual energy. So briefly, to answer your question, not that I do anything briefly.
No, it's okay. I love it.
take any profit off, put it back to one side and think about that's your future, what you're saving for. And then go into April time and know that what is best for you and what is right for you, that your visions will be so clear. You'll be able to see what's right, feel what's right, and your spiritual energy will be not even in the 5th dimension, it will be in the 6th. You'll be able to see things and that's so amazingly clearer. You go, oh my God, I've really got to get my head around this spiritual energy because it's taking me places. I want to understand more about it. And so you will see what works for you. We're all trying to figure out what's our purpose here. And April will show that to us. And it's also going into the cycle this year is about loving. It's going to show us how to love again, how to be tactile, how to embrace people and how to share it. And this month has been always about, and the last couple of months, about falling out with family members, being annoyed with people. And then you see the things that drive you crazy about people. But March brings in ends and beginnings. So there will be, unfortunately, for a lot of people, and I like to keep things as positive as I can, but most people will know of lots of people that are passing over during it. It's going to be quite a big month for people ending and moving on to the next frequency. But the good thing about it is when something has come to an end, it's not necessarily you're doing it, it's because it's Spirit's choice of saying your next journey will enhance your life. It will be better. You'll get something better from it. So if somebody decides to leave and go on to the next frequency, they're just paving a way for you. And you might think to yourself, oh my God, they weren't half as spiritual as me and they're going to be paving the way, but they're not. They're just going to be there to make your journey easier so that you see familiar faces and that when you go on to the next frequency, when it's your time. So remember.
Yeah, my dad just left and it was one of the most beautiful things. It was,
Absolutely.
he was with all my brothers and sisters were there and he was just wanted to be with my mom, but they had all these amazing conversations, you know, over the days before and he wanted to go, he was ready to go.
Yeah.
And it was, and I know I'm not sad about it.
Don't be.
I know he's with me. I know he's more powerful there. I've had dreams where I've seen him where he's like he was just after the army. Like I know I have this, you know, warrior with me. So
well, exactly. And he was showing you that because of all this war talking and energy.
That makes sense.
He's trying to show you, you know, I came back and I'm safe and I'm sound.
Yes.
And I've always said, and maybe that's just because I'm a horrible person deep down, I always say, do you know, if we grabbed all the government's children's relatives, dads and parents and chuck them off to war, we wouldn't have any more wars because they just send other people's children and other people's families and that is coming to an end. This is
their kids all work for Ukraine gas companies, you know.
Right. Exactly. So
anyway.
Exactly. So the energy has to be a peaceful, loving and karmic one. There's not meant to be any wars whatsoever. So the consequences of wars that are proper wars, and even though this is a war, it's all about our communication. That's the war that we're in. It's misinformation and that. So that's your war. So stop looking and waiting for blood. The blood is the wrongdoings which the media and that are doing to us. So it's that side of things that are the wrong things. And we need to be now keeping that in mind and actually going forward and knowing them passing over is a beautiful gift. And you wait, you've seen him already, but you wait until what the family say to you during April time and what you see him then. He'll be showing you so much of all the things that you didn't even know that he'd done and he'd experienced. And he will understand a side of you that he didn't really understand. And he will be explaining that to you. So it becomes more beautiful as the connections come in. So it's not sad when somebody passes over. Of course we miss them as people.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
our doors and our visions are going to be open, and we can tap into the love that they're giving and sharing. And it's great to have somebody on the inside be able to tell you, I'm here.
That's what I'm thinking. And we set up a code word and everything.
Excellent.
So like we have a code word with the family. So I was like, okay, I need your help when I have to go talk to Reggie Middleton by myself. And because I'm a little intimidated about some of that. And I said, some interviews that I do. And I said, we told them we want all the crypto insights. And we want all kinds of help from Papa. So
absolutely. And who would he rather help? He would help you because he knows you would help everybody else out if they needed it.
Yeah,
so
heck
100%. You're only going to get good information and that from him. And so that's what you've got to remember. So he's in a good place and protecting everybody and making sure that you know that you're safe at all times, which is good.
Yeah.
So
well, and Susan, that's where I just love. I was so sad the other day when I thought we were going to miss doing a reading with you. And so I really appreciate you doing this with us. I want to get through a couple more coins that people were asking about, and they're in the live chat now. Minoki.
Oh, yeah.
Or Mononoke. I think there's a couple of other syllables in there I might have missed.
Right. No, I thank you for getting it slightly wrong. Because every time I do it, and I'm sure people ask me about it because they know how badly I am at saying it. So
let's say it again. Let's say it again backwards. They need to turn it into like a song or something so that it would be easier to say. But this is one they're asking what you like about this project.
I like everything about it. It just it tickles me. It makes me excited. It makes me feel like a child. I feel like I just want to relax and play, and that I like it. I know this is one that is going to have a wonderful year, an absolutely wonderful year. And the only reason that I didn't put it in my really going to do really well this month is because I was struggling to say it. And I practice it and practice it. And I go, I'm not going to look another plonker and not be able to say it right. And people just come up and they say the name. And I go, how come you can say it so well?
I think we have to come up with, what's that song, that dance, the Macarena? Maybe we could somehow put it to music like the Macarena, the Mononoke.
Well, exactly. And I'm sure I'll get some genius now that will come up with a tune and that'll get into my head to help me be able to say it now. They're so clever, these crypto guys. So absolutely brilliant, stunning month, really great month, really great April as well, which is good. Creeping along quite silently during May time. So slight bits of growth, not huge, but slight bits of growth during that time. And then it takes off, then it rebuilds itself in June, and it carries on and that from there. So yes, so this is one that is going to be a certainty for the future. And on the whole, they're going to have a cracking year. The whole year is going to be pretty good.
Good to know. Good to know. Then they have a little challenge. Would you choose Phantom or Matic? Which one would give people a better profit in the month of March?
Okay, Matic, I'm going to go for.
I'm with you.
Funny enough,
I choose. Agree.
And it's funny, if I like Phantom and I sway and I just went backwards and forwards, and that just shows me. And I ended up then squeezing my crystal in my hand that I always have with me to make sure that I got it. And I believe that Matic will be the one that gets there. But you can catch me on another day, and then my energy might change itself, and it's that. And I go, why'd you do that? And they go, and that's because it's going to have a great morning and not so good in the afternoon. So that's when it does that. So when I do that and I'm sort of indecisive and I go backwards and forwards, it's just telling me one part of the day is going to be brilliant. The second part of the day in that, it may not be quite so good. So you might end up going, oh, it didn't end so well. But it will be. So, but Matic is definitely going to do pretty well. So,
but watch the time of day. So maybe if it was doing great, but then you missed taking the profit, maybe wait till tomorrow till it's back up.
Then that's all it's going to be. It is going to be one of those. I don't see it going drop and going down several days and that. And it's like this anxiety of waiting. It doesn't give me any anxiety at all. So it is going to be okay. It's going to be a great coin. It's going to be okay.
Good to know. Good to know. The next one is Block, BLOK.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Funny enough, I was just waiting for something more to come from
Blocktopia.
that.
Sorry, Blocktopia.
Right. Okay. So that's why. So that's okay. I was just thinking I haven't got the whole picture, the big picture in that of it. And so I told you they're really fussy.
They're like, and Lisa, finish the word, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, but they do that to me all the time. So I get used to it. So that's absolutely fine. I think we've got a nice little bit of a turn up point over the next couple of days. So even though I was quite scared and very anxious about the third in particular, I think, as I was saying before, I think the cryptocurrency seems to be sliding through this and being not too bad. And it could have quite a difficult week. So I would definitely take money off of this at the very end of the month. And I believe the first week in April and that. It's just like spirit just doesn't seem to be giving me the flair. So I think it could drop down the very first week in April time, and it could go back to a little bit higher than what it's doing now. But I'm only talking of a small bit higher. So I'm not looking at a massive jump, but I am looking at a few cents and that it could end up getting in the next week or so. But I think the first week in April, it could end up losing that. And just coming back, that you think to yourself, you're only getting a tiny bit of growth.
Okay.
So profit at the end of the month, please.
Okay. The next one is Altura.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Like that very much. Okay. Right. I've got a few more days and I was wanting to put my arm out on the side there. I feel like I'm bringing in planes tonight, pulling my arm out on the side. So I think we're going to go on a sideways momentum for,
and this one's it is a gaming coin,
right? Okay, so possibly over the next 5 days, and it could be slightly going sideways, and then I got a little bit of a pulling my hand up. So I think the next 5 days I don't expect to see too much life in it whatsoever. Then after that I got a little bit of elevation coming up, so I think we've then got a couple of days. So if we're looking at that, we're looking around the 9th, 10th, and that I believe there will be another beginning of a little peak in that for them. But gamings on the whole are going to do pretty good this year.
Okay.
That gamings are going to keep coming back in, and there's going to be a lot of expansion. But those that are going to do particularly well are those that do gamings and do other things with it, like sell things or do things that you can add to it. Those are the ones that are particularly going to be next year. There's going to be, everybody's going to be doing something else with their coins.
So I have to ask this. I'm Litecoin Lisa, and Litecoin is just not making sense to me. Other than I believe it's the people's coin. I think it's manipulated on purpose.
Right. Absolutely.
And it's being held down for this big mass flood for people to be able to purchase it. Do you see Litecoin going up in March, or is it going to stay down until people can get on through April? When do you see Litecoin going up or popping?
Right. I think it's actually going to go up through this month because there are a lot of new faces and new people going to come in, and they're going to be very much more attracted to it. I think you're absolutely right. I think it has been held back. We've got so many things here with the silver, golds, and all the energies and that. But this is the breaking through that ceiling point this year. And so this year starts. So if you think of this as our new January, it's the time that we're going to be able to choose and get the best coins and that. So I believe that's when it's going to start moving. So I think that that's going to start moving. I don't see it being this low or this low through the rest of the month. So I think within the next 7 days, we're already climbing and beginning to climb. I think people will not be jumping through the roof and that, but they will be much happier than what they are now. And it's got bags of potential and bags of opportunity, but it is being held down for a reason, because I think when spirit likes something and they want you to be on board and they want it as something decent, because as I said earlier on, it's so important we make sure that we figure out which are the companies that are just coming in to rip people off, because they know that they've got no idea of what's going on. And so that's when Spirit then come in and say, right, okay, we're going to take over this. We're going to make sure it's there, it's comfortable, and we know that we've got potential in that in the future. But I think the turnaround point will be for them, will be in April time, and it will be doing particularly a lot better than what it is now. Even as soon as April time, it will be doing that because Spirit are backing it, they're pushing it. And this will be, and certainly by the end of April, it would have reached the best that is done over the last possibly even couple of years. I don't know how far the graph goes back or how long it goes back for, but it could even go back.
It's, I mean, Litecoin's one of the oldest coins. Darn it, I did it again.
You're determined to get the info.
I am like, yeah, I'm keep hitting the wrong thing.
That's all right.
Isn't that funny? Yeah. Yeah, so let's see, this says max. So, and Litecoin's over 10 years old.
Right. Okay, good.
Because we just did a 10-year birthday party. And the 84th day of the year we call that Litecoin Day. That's coming up. We're going to have a meetup here in Oklahoma City that I'm hosting. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm excited about
you'll
that.
have lots of exciting news to tell them during that time as well.
Okay. So that's March 25th.
Right. Okay. Well, I think the 21st is going to be the rebirth, the beginning, the rebirth from that. So it's really going to start going on. So I think, yeah, like I said, particularly
SL says she sees it going from 140 or 160. She says she doesn't know the timeline though. But
right. Okay. Well, I think it's going to break through that because I was getting 180. So, so I think you're going to be going up around the 180.
And she says 185 at the same time when you're saying that.
Well, I'm going with her because she would understand it a lot more than me. But I always say be on the cautious side rather than doing anything terrible. But like I said, I think by the time the celebration comes, you'll have some really good news to be able to tell everybody there. The energy will already be getting excited. And anything here, having a good bash, that would be a brilliant time to be able to do it. So I feel the whole thing will go well. And then when it takes off into April time, I feel there will be a really big excitement. I'll be looking back over a couple of years ago of what it was doing then at its best and see that be well and truly up there, even breaking those barriers.
Don't breaking those all-time highs.
Yeah, and breaking those all-time highs. And you know, as you get into that time. So I think that would be good. We do have
SL says 850 or 860. She doesn't know if it's this year or next. And she says next year will be amazing for Litecoin.
Absolutely huge. It will be mega exciting and that. And I think even by the latter end of this year, I think December time, we'll see those types of figures and that taken into next year because it sells into next year really smiling and really sort of being very excited. And I think it's got an extraordinary couple of years, but next year in particular, I think it's got an absolutely giant year, big steps. It really exciting and that. And it seems to be back in favor, like it's become the thing that people like to talk about. And it's like everybody's doing with Shiba at this moment. Everybody's talking about it. And it's going to have exactly the same energy. Everybody's got something to say about it. They've got a story when they bought it, how they came across it. And it's going to settle people into it because they're going to be looking at their pensions and saying, well, this is a good solid one. It's been around for a long time. It's not a fly-by-night company. It's not going to be here today, gone tomorrow. So that energy and that is going to stick with that. So I feel how it goes into January time of next year is basically going to keep continually growing all through next year. And it'll be one of those celebration coins that you'll be part and parcel of the furnishings. Once you're in, you won't want to sell it. So that's nice.
I have to agree with you completely on all of that. And I have a little inside information that I can't wait till it's public on. So I can see all that happening as soon as some of that comes out. People will be really excited about what's going on.
Very excited. So It'd be down to you with the energy in the atmosphere. And like I said, because there'll be so many people that are fresh coming into it, and they're looking for something with a bit of a buzz. And because Spirit's got its back and looking at it, I think a lot of people are just going to come across it. And then everybody who's anybody is going to be talking about it. And so that's then going to build it up as well. So there's lots of great things here.
That's
and
exciting.
It's growing from that. I think next year they'll have even more changes and more adding tos. So it's not like it's just a 5-minute wonder. It's building again then. So good luck with it. Enjoy the party.
Thank you. Yeah. So SL's asking about Digibyte. She says, poor Digibyte's had a big dump. And do you see Digibyte,
coming
back up and possibly having a partnership?
Yeah, definitely. Anything with a partnership is going to do really well. Digibyte is definitely going to do things and that's going to do really well. Don't get ready to run to the door just because it's going through a sticky period at this moment. This was always going to be the sticky period for anybody, and it gives them the opportunity then to change and to add something more or bring something better. It's like a lot of companies have too many chiefs and not enough Indians. And when there's so many brainstormings out there, so many people coming up with great ideas, you think to yourself, now, which are the best ideas? We've got tons and tons of ideas, but we don't seem to be having the opportunities. But this is something that is going to do particularly well. And the whole year is going to be great. And I'm looking and seeing this coin still around in a 5-year period and still getting rewards and that from it. So this isn't one of these short-term ones. This is somebody and a company that have got things here together that are going to be really exciting for most people in the future. So a great year all round.
That's exciting. And I think it was with you, somebody had said that it would have government partnerships or government contracts. Maybe that was an astrologer. I can't remember now. We did a reading about Digibyte one time, and it was something about this spring having some kind of government contracts or partnerships. So
well, that will make me nervous. If that's the case, that will make me nervous because I don't trust the government, and the government are all about following, copying, making sure that they know. So everything that's associated with the government is going to be easily traceable. And that tracing then is going to tap into all your other currencies and the other things that you do. And it's like having a spy in the camp. And that's what governments are about. Governments are about trying to spy on the crypto world because they want to control it. So they're going to do everything and anything they can to control it.
So maybe that's changed then since that time, because you didn't bring...
No, because I wasn't getting that with them. So maybe this is a wake-up call than them saying it's not such a great idea. So let's stick to our own guns. Let's stick to our own plans and our own patterns. And that's what they need to do. They need to stop panicking and actually feel successful and know that their journey is a journey. It's like going on the roads at the moment. It may be a little bit bumpy in places, but it's nothing to be screaming or scared about. And let's look down the road ahead, because eventually you don't notice the bumps, you just notice the rides. And that's what they've got to start concentrating on, the good things that are coming out of this and where they're going to be in 5 years' time. That's what they need to be looking at. It's no good worrying about how slow everything's been. Everything has been slow. The last 2 months have been a nightmare. It's a wonder everybody hasn't thrown all their coins up in the air and said it's not worth anything. But this month is going to change that, and next month is going to change it. We've got a good period to go through. So all get ready to smile and party and celebrate and feel richer. And you will do it this time in this month.
And like you said, and then make that plan for March, because we're going to have our plan for our homes and our foundations and all that, so that then we can be ready for our spiritual growth in April.
So Spirit don't give you money to just put in a bank to just hold it in a bank. They don't do
it's
that.
a tool. That's right.
Exactly. It's something to improve your future, to improve things. And if you're ready to improve things in your life and spiritual happiness, and they say money doesn't make happiness, but it flipping well does, because you can do so many things in that with it.
You can help other people with it. Yeah. Yeah. You can help
Exactly.
yourself. You can bring comforts to yourself, other people.
Exactly.
You can solve problems
Yeah.
if you use it as a tool, you know.
Well, exactly. And they always said the happiest people that go to spirit are those that never have much money, but have spent it on family and friends and having a time of their life. And that's good. They don't like hoarders. They say, what's the point in you winning the lottery if you're just going to keep your life exactly the same? So they say, when am I going to win the lottery? Well, you're never going to win it because your ideas are not big enough. Your energy isn't about where you're going or what you're going to do. And so you've got to be able to spend it, but do good things and that. It's like I went out and I've got I can't even think of the money I've got now. Got it, the Zimbabwe Zims.
Oh, yes.
And so I bought some of them ready to do my spiritual journey and my destiny and that. So I
have
did.
one right there.
Right. Okay. So I did that. Oh, well done you. You only got the one.
I have one from a friend gave me one, and then I have a Venezuelan
Okay. Excellent.
50. I'm trying to
Okay.
think if I have any other junk, dirty fiat. No.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I always have silver close by, and I have
that's it. Good.
some copper close by. So.
Exactly. Both good. Both excellent. I think copper is really going to come into its own, not only this year, but I think it's going to be a great year next year for copper. I think people have another interest of looking at something else, and also different gemstones, crystals and things like that. They're going to have a cracking year next year. Yeah. So we've got all that, which we, as being spiritual people, got.
I was going to say that makes so much sense with the spiritual awakening, that people will then see the value of crystals, and they would become more valuable. Yeah.
And they've actually got a 30-year cycle. So for the next 30 years, people will be addicted to it. One, because it holds your energy, it purifies the energy in the home. And, you know, when people come into my place and they always say, you've got such a lovely atmosphere. I said, don't blame it on me. I said, because I'm the bottom of the pecking list. I said, it's the crystals, they lift the vibration up. I spend all my time telling spirit off, and they tell me off. They go, behave. They go, stop chatting so much. Get on with what you're meant to be talking about. So sorry about that.
No, I love it. I love it. And you are my favorite person to do these with. So thank you so much for being so gracious and rescheduling and being patient with connecting the streams. I know it's always a little bit of a difficult or technical challenge, but
yeah, it is for me. Sorry.
I love it. And I just appreciate you so much. SL, thank you so much for giving me this great gift and opportunity to be a part of all this. I appreciate you both. Any other final gifts from the spirit guides, SL?
Right.
So the one thing that is really weird that you don't see from the middle of April to the end of April, the market will plunge. So I got three different visions that Bitcoin would drop to below 20,000, but I don't know the timeline because they didn't tell me what month. So I'm just curious, do you see anything going on from the middle of April into the end of April?
I think it's more towards the latter end of April. I think April, going those last couple of days in April time, particularly round about the 30th. So I think up until the 29th, there could be growth. Remember, we're bringing up all the small babies during that time. So all the small coins, all the ones that most people have, they're the ones that can have great increases. You've got the big boys, the Bitcoins, and that's where they're going to have a beginning of a difficult ride, only but for those few days now, because like I said, there's some wind of fortune here. There's something here that comes in where maybe it's just part of the team that is changing and going off. But Bitcoin, if anybody's going to break records and that and do things, they'll do it during May when everybody else has got too many other things here to worry about. So they have that sort of changing point or turning point. So that's why it's really important for people to take off the profits towards the latter end of the month, and then just watch for this change, this natural change. Spirit will be going, right, you've all earned enough now. That's enough. You should be able to buy your home, start your projects, do your things, look after your family and that, buy homes and that for your children and stuff. So we're expecting you to do really well. Look at the list I've just given you, all things you've got to be paying for. So it's about spreading that energy and that during that time. So doing as many good causes as you possibly can. The more that you can do, the better during that opportunity. So that I promise you, there'll be plenty of warnings before anything goes. You'll all feel it because you're all on that right page. Something will give you that sickly feeling in your stomach and you'll be going, what is it? I'm worried about finances. April, you won't be worried about finances. If you're going to worry about finances, it'll be in March. And that is just because the ordinary banking system and people will be going to cash points and not being able to get much money out if you can get anything out at all. And we've got to go through that to get the good rewards, to get all the good stuff and that to come in the future. So don't be scared by it. Just have some cash at home for emergencies and a little bit here so that you can still get shopping and do little bits and pieces and that. Don't panic. It will be sorted out. Remember, the whole world itself is changing. Let's get rid of these dodgy leaders. Let's have great people in to help everybody out. So if we get the great people in to help everybody out, then it will be good. And that's where the television and that will come down and it come crashing down. So we'll definitely see new laws and new communication. So new people taking over jobs in TVs, anything here to do with TVs, radios and that. People that have been sending out all the propaganda that have made people make decisions on the rubbish that they've been told. That's all going to come down during March. You'll be saying goodbye to the Queen, goodbye to the Pope, and anybody else, and Obama and Obama. You'll be exactly goodbye, and Biden goodbye. So there'll be all of those people and that. And then, like I said, you'll be looking then at Russia and going, thank you so much. You've changed our world. And I just want to say a massive big thank you to Canada for all the lorries and the USA for all the people that have been getting off their backsides and doing something. And I'm afraid I haven't been able to do anything like that, but I have been lighting a candle and putting it in my window every night. So lighting a light out for them to have a safe journey. So if you can't do anything else, put a safe journey, light a candle and just send out positivity to them and do it every night. And I do it 7 o'clock every single night. I just light a candle and send it out to them and just to keep them protected, because we will get freedom because of what they started, the knock-on effect, and that's what we'll get. So thank you both very, very much for letting me blabble on.
No, you're fine. So we did this Light the Lantern tour with the Patriot Party Rocks. When my dad was still alive, I took it in his honor. We had him sign the document, and it's going to be filed in the Library of Congress. And but then my husband and I took the lantern from Arkansas to Oklahoma City in his honor because he couldn't travel. He was too sick. And she recently, the lady that coordinated the whole thing, Ted Nugent, which is this rock guy, took our video with all the people that were involved in it. And he took his semi and was part of the convoy thing. And he took this song that he did and took that video of all of us doing the lantern across America. And we hit every state. And then they said, everybody put a lantern out because we've been invaded. Yes. One, if by land, two, if by sea. And we are saying we're claiming our freedom back, exactly. And so to hear that you're getting the same message from Spirit is so cool. Yeah. So everybody, if you can't put a lantern out, then she said to wear a gold ribbon or, a gold ribbon or a yellow ribbon. I can't remember what she said now, but light a candle. If everybody can light a candle.
Tea light one, just in case you fall asleep or something like that.
Don't set your house on fire. Thank you so much. Gosh, you're such a blessing and such a bright spot.
Thank you. Thank you.
thanks to everybody watching. We appreciate you supporting all of our work. And you can reach Susan at the link in the description below. There's a link to her website. She has availability pretty close. You don't have to wait very long. And you can use that link on her website and get in touch with her. You can follow SL on her Patreon and her free Telegram chat channel. All those links are in the description, and you can find my information as well. So thank you guys so much. Have a great day.
Thank you, SL. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.